Namaste, namaskar. So today will be a short practice of Kundalini Yoga, connecting to the energies of truth and breaking through some barriers, as well as calling in healing. So this is a little experience of some kriyas that you would find commonly practiced in Kundalini Yoga. And when we practice Kundalini Yoga, we start by tuning in with the Adi Mantra, Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo, calling the divine wisdom or the divine teacher within and all around us, bowing to that presence or that name of God within us and all around us. So starting by inhaling the arms up, palms come together above head. Exhale the thumbs down to your heart center. Take a deep breath in and a big breath out. Arriving here and grounding yourself into this space, connecting to the golden chain of teachers, the ancestors, guides, and angels, the gurus who have come before, and the guru within you with the Adi Mantra, Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. We'll sing it 3 times. Deep breath in. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. So we're going to start with an exercise of clearing barriers and clearing blockages. So the elbows will come just beneath the shoulders and the palms are going to be strong and spread. We're going to push the hands up about 60 degrees in front of the forehead and use the mantra Har when the palms reach the top. So the word is H-A-R, H-A-R, and it means God or divine or praise. And each time the hands go up with Har, you're clearing a blockage. So thinking of what do I need to clear out of my life at this time, and we'll breathe through. Each time the Har goes up, the belly goes into the spine. So it's inhale here, exhale, Har, 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 Har. Inhale, both arms up high. Exhale, press the palms out to your sides, pressing the arms down through the shoulders and out to the ground, surrounding yourself in an orb of golden light. Deep breath in, big breath out. And just close the eyes and breathe a few times in and out through the nose, looking up and out through your third eye, crossing your eyes upward through the center of the forehead. And then if it's comfortable for you or safe for you to come onto the knees, kneeling in a thunderbolt position or rock pose. So you're sitting on the heels and sitting on the knees, Or if it's not comfortable for your knees, you can stay in Sukhasana or easy pose. And we'll come onto the knees, and then we'll take the hands into Kali Mudra or Temple Mudra. If you're balancing your feminine energy, or as a female energy, you cross left thumb over right. If you'd like to balance your masculine energy, or if you are male energy, cross your right thumb over your left. Then the index fingers point outward and up, and the other 3 fingers cross one inside of the other. And then the arms will come up above the head, shoulders down away from the ears, arms up straight, pointing those index fingers to the sky. Then we're pairing this with the mantra Sat Nam, or truth is my name. On Sat, the belly goes in, Sat. On Nam, the belly relaxes. And then the breath finds its own space in. So let's shake out the arms, shake out the body a little bit, and consider your truth, your highest truth. What is your truth? Who are you really? Inhale the arms up into your Temple Mudra, shoulders away from the ears, but arms nice and straight. And we'll begin with Sat, belly in, Nam, belly relaxes. Sat, Nam, 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 Sat, Nam. And if you can, look up and out through the third eye, so the eyes are closed, but the eyes crossed up to the center of the forehead. Nam, Sat, 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 Nam. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the belly button into the spine, lift the pelvic floor, tuck the chin into the chest. Inhale. Hold your breath at the top of the breath. And exhale, slowly lower the hands down in front of the body as if you're zipping a zipper in front of your aura with the index fingers, drawing a line down. And then once the hands reach the thighs, relax the mudra and place the hands down on the thighs. Just breathing here, closing the eyes. And as you're ready, you can make your way back off of your knees to come back into a Sukhasana, easy pose, seated pose, or a half lotus or lotus if that's what you feel to practice. And we'll find a nice, tall, meditative posture. And the palms will face up. We're going to move into Kirtan Kriya, which will work with the Sat Nam mantra, but broken up into syllables that are in the mantra. So the 4 syllables are Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa on the index and thumb, Ta on the middle and thumb, Na on the ring and thumb, and Ma on the pinky and thumb. Your gaze will be again eyes closed, looking up and out through the third eye, and you're nice and tall in the spine, and there's a little bit of a belly activation as you sing the words Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Then you keep that belly activation going because we'll do a couple of minutes aloud with the mantra, then a couple of minutes through breath with the mantra in silence, and a couple of minutes in a whisper after aloud, and then a couple of minutes in silence, and then climb back out to a whisper, and then back to aloud. This kriya is to balance the nervous system and the hemispheres of the brain, and it helps to activate your intuition or your sense of awareness within your connection to your higher self. So it opens the crown chakra by balancing the nervous system, activating the meridian lines which connect to the points of the fingertips, connecting the fingertips to the thumb, balancing the 4 elements of the body. You could also say that the syllables represent infinity, life, death, and rebirth. So this is helping us to move through the cycles of our lives, the cycles of ourselves. So find your tall spine, deep breath in, big sigh. Inhale. Satanama, 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 sa ta na ma in a whisper. Sa ta na ma. 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 In silence. Back to a whisper. Sa ta na ma. 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 Sa Satanama, 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 Satanama. Inhale, thumb and index finger together, extend the other 3 fingers. Big breath out. Inhale your arms up alongside the ears, palms facing each other. Close the eyes and imagine a spiral of light surrounding your arms, surrounding your head, surrounding your shoulders. A spiral of gold light spiraling all the way down your whole body, or sensing a warm energy circulating around you. And then imagining in between your hands like you're holding a galaxy like the Milky Way, spiraling with 1 billion pinpoints of stars, getting bigger and bigger with all these little pinpoints of light surrounding your whole body until you're in the center of this galaxy of light with all the little stars shining through you. Golden pinpoints of light shining and spiraling around your whole body. Deep breaths here, 1 minute. Deep breath in. Big sigh. Inhale. Exhale, facing the palms to face outward, pressing the palms out to your sides, slowly lowering the hands down, all the way back down to your thighs, and letting the hands rest on the thighs and knees. A few breaths here. Grounding the energy down. Inhale, activate the pelvic floor, tuck the belly button in, chin to your chest. Hold at the top of your inhale. Exhale, relax the pelvic floor, relax the belly, chin back parallel to the floor. Inhale your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, roll them back and down. Shake out the arms, shake out the body, release your legs, shake out your legs, shake everything out, and slowly prepare yourself for Shavasana, laying down onto your back, letting yourself relax onto the back for your Shavasana, and taking some time to integrate the practice. Let your whole body settle into the ground. And you can start to deepen your breath and wiggle your toes and wiggle your fingers. When you're ready, rolling onto one side of the body first, and then making your way back up into a seat. And once you've come back up into your seat, you can inhale the arms up above head, palms come together, thumbs to your heart. And we'll close our Kundalini practice with the mantra Sat Nam, a long Sat and a short Nam, and we'll sing it through 3 times. Truth is my name, Sat Nam. Deep breath in, big breath out. Inhale to Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. May the truth be with you. May the light shine through you. Thank you for practicing along with me. Namaste.